Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever have a nightmare in your life? How did you wake up? Did you wake up trembling or relieved or both? Imagine having a nightmare for 4 years. That's what happened to me. When I was in Cambodia, well, Cambodia is next door to Thailand, Vietnam, and Laos. And I grew up in this city, Battambang. When I was in college, I was away from home. I was in Phnom Penh. That was a few hundred miles away. And all my family are back home. And then the communists invaded Cambodia. When they marched in, the next day, they evacuate the whole city. Not only just that city, the whole country. And I was forced to move away from the city very, very hot in the heat. And then I start to cry because I miss my family. And I was away from everybody. And after a long, long, long walk, and we end up in the camp. This camp was guarded by armed soldiers. And they watch us 24 hours a day. They force us to go to work in the rice field every day. There's no rest from 4 a.m. all the way until nighttime. And then in between, we receive very small portion of food with very little nutrition. Very soon, we all start to get sick. And I got sick with malaria, with typhoid, swelling all over the body. And then finally, I was blind at night. I couldn't see anything at nighttime. And that's because of the lack of nutrition and the lack of rest and the exhaustion from working too hard. And with all this sickness, I had to go to work every day until one day I cannot go to work anymore. And then they pushed me to go to a place. It's the infirmary, at the makeshift infirmary. When I arrived there, I look around and I realized I need to get out from here. All the people here are very sick. And then I could possibly receive more disease into my body, and I would not survive. My goal is to survive so that I can go back home and find my family. I love my family so much. That's all I thought about all this time. No matter how hard it is, my mind was focused on my family. So now, what can I do to survive this situation? As I thought about it, I remember when I was young, as about 8 or 9 years old, Mom read the story at bedtime and I listened. One of the story caught my attention. This story said that the God saw this mean person beat up the children and the wife of somebody else, and he took from him and he abused them. So when God saw that, he sent his angel from above to rescue these people. I remember that story so vividly. And I believe that there is God and he knows everything. Since then, I know there is God. So now that I want to live, to survive, I remember that God and I start to pray to him. And I ask him to help me to survive. So night after night, after everybody went to bed, I sit up and pray. And then finally one day, I feel a little bit of energy, so I start to walk out from there. Walk out to the other side where the working people stay. As soon as I got there, a team leader saw me. And she took me in and she gave me a job to do. And then she observed me. when she realized that I was so sick. And she told me, you need to go to work there. There. When I look, it's the kitchen. And I realized, yay, yay. So I was so happy because working in the kitchen is totally different. I work in the shade, I work less hour, I get more food, and finally I start to feel better every day. And then finally I felt much better. And when they saw me look better, feel better, they grab me from there and they throw me back out to work in the rice field again. Now, if you or me, are you angry or bitter or resentful? I was not angry at that time. I was so grateful that I was alive. I survived. So that's all I thought about. And my goal is to survive and go find my family because I love them so much. So if you love somebody, that love will give you hope, and that hope will help you to 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 get to where you want to be. So that's what I was. I have that hope in me, and I wrote my book. In I wrote the book, how I survived the killing field, the full story in this book. So I invite you to check out this book. If all this book can do for you is to help you get through your hard time, wouldn't it be worth having a few copies in hand so that you can pass on to your loved one? Thank you for your attention.